Hello, everybody. Welcome to the other side of the wormhole, the lost thoughts of But Why Though, the podcast. And today, we're not going to do an episode. We're going to do something a little different. So, you guys, if you've ever checked out our website, our Facebook page, or just even listened to an episode, we have an editor, obviously. You may have seen it on there, but you may have never met him or heard any of his thoughts. Obviously, he has thoughts and opinions as well. So today we're just going to kind of do a Meet the Editor version. So you can kind of figure out the person who worked behind the scenes with all the episodes and whatnot. And so...
That would be me.
Yeah, it would be him. As always, I'm your host, Matt, and let's meet our editor. His name is Asa. Asa, who are you?
Good question. All right, so I'm the editor for But Why the podcast. In England, if you couldn't tell by my voice, although originally from Florida, but I've been here too damn long, so kind of lost some of that. But pretty much my life consists of editing audio, working full time in an electronic store, and playing in a band. So.
Oh, you play in a band? What's your band about then?
We're a Foo Fighters tribute band called Something From Nothing, which is also a Foo Fighters song. It's basically, I only recently joined the band, but the name was chosen because we have this something out of literally just a few guys playing in a garage doing what they love, and that's how we ended up with this something. It came out of nothing.
And they were playing out of what?
Oh, come on. Out of a garage.
Yeah. So yeah.
And Foo Fighters.
Yeah. So you're obviously located in the UK. I think we. You're located in the UK. I think we've posted a few stuff on some of our social media sites about your band. You were on tour. You want to tell us a little bit about that at all? I mean, what the experience was like. Obviously, I've never played in front of thousands of people or anything. Well, actually, I've played, but never had a band.
So I got a message because I'm friends with. I was friends with a couple of members of the band before the band. How many times can I say the band in a sentence? But I got a message off of one of the guitarists saying, "Could you cover a couple of dates for our bassist? He's going to be away." So I agreed. I was like, "Okay, send me a set list and where I need to be." And he's like, "Okay, I should probably confirm that you're okay with where it's going to be." I'm like, "Okay." So he was like, "Yeah, how about Devon?" For anyone who doesn't know geographically what England's like, I live on the Isle of Wight, which is off the south coast by Southampton. And Devon is about 350 miles away to the west. So definitely the furthest I've had to travel musically. It was a lot of pressure, ultimately, because I had to learn 32 Foo Fighters songs in 12 days.
Ooh.
I had one gig in a pub. That was my first gig with the band. And after that, we headlined a festival called Ockham Beer Fest, where I spoke to the organizer afterwards, and she said there was about 3,700 people there.
Wow, that's a lot of people there.
Yeah, it doesn't help that I kind of psyched myself out for it because we were there. We were at the festival 9 hours before we had to play because we were the last band on. I kept peering through a little gap in the tent, like looking through the stage, like, what's going on? And just seeing all the people, it was crazy. So, but it was so good. We were actually planning a new tour already. So
that's good. So let's say that should be exciting. Big events, big everything.
Yeah, we're starting to. Well, I kind of came up with the idea today, but we're starting to look at Europe. I'm putting together a bit of a plan. So obviously I'll keep everyone posted with that.
So I like how you're like, we're starting to look at Europe. You're like already located in Europe.
Okay, mainland Europe. The bit to the east of me.
If I say you sound like me when I'm like, I'm looking at Europe, but I'm not located in Europe. So I guess people are probably kind of wondering a little bit, I guess, somewhat, or at least I would be, like, you're obviously from the UK, and we're from America. We have our editor from the UK. How did we meet, I guess? And how did you even meet us to be able to be involved in this? You want to tell the story? Would you like? I would.
Yeah, it was. I think we can both take this. It was. Okay, so I started playing Ark Survival on the Xbox One, and it's a game I'd heard quite a lot about. I'd seen YouTube videos about, and I always loved dinosaurs. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna buy it. And first few days just went horrible. I'd build a little house, be like, yeah, I achieved something, and then someone would just come and trample on it, and I'd be dead. I'm like, oh, okay, well.
There's never achievements in Ark.
No, there's really not.
No.
But so yeah, I thought I was doing pretty well, and then one night I stayed up pretty late. I pulled an all-nighter to try and find a new place to build. I just found this just big ass base, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go around that. You know, there ain't no way I'm getting close to it. And all of a sudden, a turret just shot at me. I didn't understand what it was, so I was freaking out. And this guy just came over on a pterodactyl, and I'm like, okay, this is the end. I'm just so screwed. And all I see is this little microphone pop above the guy's head. I'm like, oh wait, it's not killing me. Okay, maybe I should chat to him then.
If
so
you
I
ever
put
play
my
Ark,
microphone
you
in.
basically run from everybody you see.
Yeah, a little bit. But so I put my mic in, and it happened to be Matt here.
Just me.
And he was just like, oh hey, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you with our turrets and stuff. What's going on? But and then it kind of all escalated from there. I was just gathering wood and stuff so I could try and make a boat to be able to get somewhere else, and he was helping me. And I said, well, do you mind if I build next to you? You know, you're a pretty cool guy. You know, can I stay near you? And he was like, yeah, sure, go for it. We'll help you out and stuff. And everything kind of just snowballed from there, and it all came to one big fight. We won't mention too much about Woozy. But
it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I'm still pretty salty about that. But hey, we fisted his Rex to death.
Yes. Yeah, so for those of you who've never played Ark, it's a survival type sandbox game in which obviously you start as a naked person, you're dropped on an island, you have no idea what's going on, the land is basically everything is trying to kill you, including the people you play with. And so it just happened to run into Asa one day. We decided not to kill him and his little tiny tribe. We tried to be nice. But don't worry, as big as you thought our base was, we learned that we were not even close as the longer we played it, and we were very awful at that game for a while.
Yeah, we thought we were doing pretty good, especially we ended up merging tribes in the end.
Yes.
And we were like, yeah, you know, we know what we're doing, you know, we're doing pretty good, you know, come at us, and then they did, and
no, we were not very good. We were good later on when we played on other servers together, but for that server, It was definitely just a learning experience. What you thought was good was apparently terrible, and then it became a giant numbers game and times game where you needed.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's an
I still play. I never quit.
Yeah, I do not have the time to play that game, unfortunately, so I cannot play. But if anybody would like to donate me like $2 million, I will gladly sit around and play Ark in your name. Because it's stressful, it makes you mad, you don't have time to do anything else, it consumes your life.
I agree with Adrian in chat. Fuck Woozy.
Yes. Yes, very interesting guy. So moving on from there. So why did you agree to do this edit the podcast? Go with that.
Well, I literally just graduated off my degree in commercial music, and I'd done quite a lot of sound editing work in terms of musical editing. So when Kate and Matt first said about doing a podcast and needing to edit it, I was like, well, you know, I've got editing software. I know what I'm doing with audio. I'll help out if I can, and everything kind of went from there, really. And now we're releasing episodes every week, and
yeah,
we're doing pretty good. So
yeah, now we're on Twitch TV here, streaming away.
I know, right?
Yeah. So you edit podcast. I mean, is there anything else? I mean, obviously, I know what all of you've done and what you haven't done because I'm part of the podcast. But I guess for everybody else out there, I mean, I guess what do you see envisioning as the editor of a podcast? Either what you want to do with the podcast or going from there. I mean, obviously, we know you're in a band and everything, but yeah.
I like doing some of the little animations that I've done before. Like, they're pretty fun. But yeah, so yeah, I'll definitely like try and do some more of those. It's just trying to find the time for that, and also I need you guys to be funny too, to find something for me to
Uh,
do.
we can definitely find stuff. I don't know how funny it will be, more than probably bad, but yes, we can see what
Yeah,
we can do.
but also like sound effects and stuff. Like what I'd like to see would be maybe give this a go for one episode. Maybe is try and tell like a story,
Okay.
and I'll full on back it up with all the sound effects and everything. Yeah, try and tell a tale. It's like in a world, and I'll put all the epic music behind it and everything, and just carry it through. Something like that would be pretty awesome.
All right, calm down with the movement a little bit. You're kind of coming in and out of the camera there. We enjoy the enthusiasm, but you almost popped yourself off the stage like you're coming at somebody.
That would not be the first time I've popped off the stage before.
There you go. See, we all mentioned the bands. Yeah, we could probably see what we can work in. I mean, obviously, we're very time constrained because you are, I believe, 6 hours ahead of us. So it's actually probably about 1 o'clock in the morning.
It is actually spot on 1 o'clock.
Yes, that's what. I can tell time.
You said probably about, all right?
Well, I was looking and I knew it was 1 o'clock being dinner. I know England time very well. I played NBA 2K, I think it was 13 or 12, in which there was a weird thing in which if you put your Xbox in the time zone of Central Time or like Grand Central Time, England time, and apparently the servers work better. And surprisingly, I couldn't prove it, I guess, but I felt it worked a lot better. And I kind of was lazy and just left my Xbox on England time for the entire time. Also, FIFA runs off of that time zone as well, and a few of the other things.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so since I played a lot of FIFA back in the day, it was easy to keep track when they did rollovers for a lot of their stuff, since it reset at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I've kept it and been lazy, so I'm pretty good with that time zone, per se. All the Euro stuff. So I guess let's get into a little more stuff about you. We know you're on the podcast. We know you're editor. We know you want to make some stories, sound effects. Kind of had a background in editing, obviously, and videoing. So I mean, I'm sure this is on the website, but just let's hear it from your own words, and I guess per se, what is your favorite superhero or team? I guess or super team.
Oh man. To be honest, I really like the Avengers.
Do you like the new Avengers or the old Avengers?
I would probably say old Avengers.
Okay.
Simply because...
Is there a Falcon in your Avengers, or is there not a Falcon in your Avengers?
Oh, man. Shit. The thing is, I like Falcon, but...
Because he was not actually, at least from my understanding, he was not actually added to the Avengers until the MCU brought him in.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because you wouldn't even think about that now, but he is definitely in the new Avengers now.
Yeah. I would probably say no.
Okay. So you like... So then who would be your favorite Avenger out of that?
Oh, okay. Probably Thor.
Thor?
Yeah, I like a bit of Thor. Not like that.
Why? Why do you like Thor?
I like the Norse mythology aspect of it. Obviously, there's a lot of inaccuracies and accuracies. Well, I mean, as accurate as you can get with demigods, but
right.
But I also just quite like his character and the way that he has to earn the right to be able to use his powers and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's not it's not like Iron Man who can just be like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna build a new suit. All right, catch you later. He actually has to earn his powers. So.
Yeah, for a while there, though, that suit was actually cool, at least for the old Iron Man versions, in which that suit kept him alive.
Yeah.
Which was in the first one, before they finally moved away from him unable, or not having to need the part of the suit. So that's cool. Even though you still... So, he's your favorite Avenger, even though he, at this point, I guess literally in the MCU, he actually leaves Earth. He does that well in a few of the other stuff. Just abandoning people.
He does that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I can kind of respect that. Sometimes you just gotta disappear.
No, I think it's fine because I think at least from the Avengers are definitely not like the Justice League where you're like, oh, they're cohesive. I think the Avengers are ever rotating, at least from my understanding and know of the Avengers, and they obviously, depending on the story arc and time, who's all actually in there. But it's not a bad choice there. I'm not a big fan of Thor, believe it or not, but yeah.
Oh, okay. How come?
He's a god. I don't. Who's gonna beat him? You put him on Earth, and who's actually going to beat him?
Well, that's kind of just a Superman thing.
I don't
mean,
like Superman
he's
either.
not. I was never really a massive fan of him, so yeah, okay, we'll go with that.
I'm not a fan of Thor, Superman, and even to some degree now with what they've done with Wonder Woman. Either is she a demigod, just because you live on Earth and everything, you protect the Earth, but who's actually going to just beat you? I mean, it seems like in the Justice League versions, they have to go like to other aliens or to like, I guess you saw the Wonder Woman movie, they went to actual demigods. But besides that,
I don't know. I quite liked Wonder Woman, to be honest, because I like the fact that everything was so secluded, and like that's how she thought life was.
oh yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not saying I don't like Wonder Woman.
All of a sudden,
in
humanity
general.
comes crashing through.
Yeah.
Which is kind of just what we do in general. We just crash through everyone's little bubble and break stuff.
No, I mean, I like Wonder Woman. I'm talking about just from perspective of, like, their power-wise. Their powers are so much greater than pretty much anybody else. That's why. So moving on to the next one. So, I mean, I don't know how much you read. Obviously, we have your favorite superhero and whatnot. I mean, did you read any comic books or any anime at all? Is that your favorite? Any of those?
As much as I hate to say it, I never really got into comics that much.
Okay. So all of your knowledge have basically been through the cartoons or movies, I'm assuming?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, when I was at school, I didn't really have, like, by the time I'd finished all my homework and stuff and watched a TV show, I didn't really have time for much else. So I didn't really have anywhere to be able to fit comics into my life.
Right.
Which is neither a good thing nor a bad thing, really. I mean, I've started reading a few now. Like, my girlfriend really loves all like the Harley Quinn and Suicide Squad stuff. So
the old Suicide Squad stuff, or whatever they're calling this version.
She's
in
got
the DCU.
She's got a mix of like older ones and newer ones. Like, it was our anniversary a few days ago, and I picked up a couple of Justice League versus Suicide Squad comics, like the first two ones.
Right.
So when she's giving them a read, I'm gonna have a look as well. So.
Did you see the movie Suicide Squad?
I did.
Did you like it?
All right. So I know Kate's watching. I know she didn't like it.
I hate that movie.
I see what they did there. I'm not saying I loved it, but I'm not saying I hated it. But I'm kind of looking at them like, all right, I see what you did there. What I think that they're doing is kind of like a reverse Avengers, where Marvel were basically like, okay, here's a bit of Iron Man, here's a bit of Captain America, here's a bit of Thor. What about if we put them all together? How do you guys like that? And that's kind of the way they went. But DC's kind of gone, all right, how about we introduce you to this character, that character, that character, that character, and that character. Cool, you like them now. Sweet. Now, how about we do a movie just about this one? How would you like that? So they're kind of doing the reverse of Marvel. They're getting everyone together and then doing separate spin-offs, maybe. So it's kind of like to set the scene.
That movie was awful from a comic book standpoint for the most part. And I actually just thought the movie in general was bad.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't know about a comic book standpoint, obviously, with what I just said.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I was basically going into it with a fresh mind. Like, I didn't know much about anyone.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only problem I had with that was I tried because I have issues with the new Spider-Man that came out and whatnot, but I also know that it was a good movie for what it was, you know, especially for a fresh mind-wise. Whereas Suicide Squad, I just didn't even like the plot or just even some of the character development and stuff like that versus like, oh, well, I'm just comic books, wrong, whatever. It was more of like, I just actually didn't enjoy the movie. Because, I mean, there's been some other, like Doctor Strange, I don't know a lot about. And obviously, it wasn't like the greatest movie, but I actually really enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, I liked it too.
So, but yeah.
It's pretty trippy, but
Yeah, definitely
I
felt
got
like
through
I
it.
could use some PEDs on that one to get through that one. Definitely been interesting.
Yeah, yeah. My mind was kind of swimming for a few of those scenes. I was kind of like, wait, hang on, which way's up? I can't quite remember.
Right. So moving on to the next one, which I know you play a lot of, obviously, as you said. Your favorite video game or video game franchise?
All right, well, going off of simply the word franchise, I would probably say is the Halo franchise.
Okay.
Um, they were one of the first video games I played. In fact, the first video game I ever played was Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
Right.
Back on the PlayStation 1, I must have been maybe 5 years old. And there was a PlayStation, and there was Tomb Raider, and I was taught the controls and everything. I just went off with it, and I ended up doing really well. And they were like, "Okay, I haven't been able to get past that part, and he's 5. How?" So from there, I then obviously had to wait to be able to get my own PlayStation and stuff like that. But by that point, the original Xbox came out. And I remember my mum bought me Halo. She was like, you might like this. It's kind of like sci-fi, aliens, all that kind of stuff. And I just loved the game so much. And I played through it over and over and over again just for the sake of it. So then obviously when games came out later on with, with like obviously multiplayer, that kind of got me into the more competitive side of gaming. But still obviously within the Halo franchise. And just the whole story of Master Chief. I remember the closest I've ever come to crying at a video game was when I did not know what was happening to Master Chief when they were just floating off to space. I think it was Halo 4, and Cortana had called him by his real name. I was just like, oh, come on, no, you can't leave me like this.
3, not 4.
It's been a while, but yeah.
So, yeah. I love the first Halos, but as they've gone and kind of came around, I don't even know if Master Chief's even still in all these new ones. I think they've kind of branched it off into a universe per se instead of just focusing.
Yeah, they had a couple of other ones like ODST,
Right.
which was not even about Spartans. It
was an in-betweener.
Yeah.
I don't remember which two it was in between.
They've had a couple about when the whole Spartan program was fully running, rather than just Master Chief being the last one.
Yeah, which has been a problem with some of the video games of late, which I kind of try to get it and I try to understand, but I kind of it just kind of downplays the story somewhat to me. But yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, so you said Tomb Raider, correct?
Yeah, Tomb Raider.
So what did you think about episode 1, the very thing that launched this podcast, Tomb Raider episode?
I enjoyed that episode. It was pretty nostalgic for me, to be honest, because it's always kind of like growing up, it's been a thing with me and my mom that we play every single Lara Croft game that comes out, just like cover to cover. Like the latest one that came out, got it on Xbox One, and we were sat in the living room, and she was on one couch, I was on the other, and we just played through that thing. If she died, she'd hand the controller over to me. If I died, hand it over to her, and we were just taking it in turns, just getting through that story. And
so you're a fan of the reboot and the way they've kind of rebranded, I guess, a little bit?
I do like it. I think it's kind of breathed a whole new life into the franchise. I mean, there's only so much more they could have done, and I think they were kind of exhausting their options. They needed to give it that extra breath.
Okay. That's good. Yeah, so like I said, I've played a little bit of Tomb Raider, but it wasn't a big deal. I don't know. I wasn't a big, I guess for me, for some reason, it just never was a big part of me for some reason. I guess I was never a big PlayStation person either. So
yeah,
I made the decision a long time ago with my first console.
I never got past PlayStation 2.
I made a decision whether to buy an N64 or a PlayStation when I actually saved up money to it. And I went with the N64, and then I went from there to basically an Xbox and have never looked back.
Nice. Yeah, I had the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and then every Xbox so far.
Are you excited for Scorpio?
I don't know. There's a lot of mixed reviews and stuff about it. To be honest, it's like they're saying a lot of stuff to kind of big it up, saying, "Oh yeah, it's going to be capable of 4K definition and stuff like that." But the trouble is, none of the developers are going to be able to use 4K yet, not properly. I mean, look at Ark Survival; they're hardly even using 720 without the game crashing.
I think Ark had a lot of problem with anything crashing sometimes.
Yeah. They've made a patch to try and help that in a minute, but what it's done is it's turned. Yeah, there's always a patch for everything. What they've done is to stop the servers from crashing and people crash now. Is they've taken the quality of the dinosaur textures right down to the fact that it's just hilarious and they just look disgusting until everything's kind of stable for you, and then you can start loading the textures later. So you can be looking at your dinosaur and it just looks absolutely hideous, and all of a sudden, click, it's back in.
See, tell me all that, I'm kind of glad that I kind of quit Ark.
Yeah. It's something that they've just put in temporarily so people can play properly, but hopefully they're going to actually properly sort that out. Otherwise it's a bit of a buzzkill, because it's like, oh, they've got visual mutations and stuff now. Like for different colors, and you're like, hey, look, I got this Rex that's really pretty, but it looks like it got hit by a train.
Yeah. So that's kind of been my issue, I guess, somewhat. Not necessarily with Ark, but like between the pricing they're doing with Scorpio, I might as well buy a PC and I can have all the mods, Ark mods. I can do whatever I want. I can boost that thing. Like if it has problems, I can do whatever I want. And I'm at this point really not debating, but I will be getting a PC eventually here, just because the amount of games that are on there and I guess the options, it's just, the gap is just becoming huge, at least to me.
Yeah.
Especially to play in like online multiplayer, like community type games. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I've been thinking about for a little while too, but the trouble is, like, I'd definitely go for PC now, but there's no one that I play with that's on PC yet or is looking to go on the PC. So,
do we not count in your life?
Well, I spend a lot of my time listening to your voices.
Adrian does, another one of our hosts. He just doesn't play as much on there sometimes because kind of same issue. I know quite a few people play.
I hardly see Adrian play anything these days.
Well, because he's on the PC, that's why. You don't see that.
Nah.
So going into our next question and whatnot, I mean, I guess this is kind of like what our podcast is about and kind of what's around. Name a few of your fandoms, or your top fandoms, I guess. I mean, obviously, we talked about your favorite superhero. We did your favorite game franchise. Is there any, I guess, a few other things that like aren't, or that are neither one of those that you're a big fan of?
Definitely Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
I've always loved Lord of the Rings and the
You've
Hobbit,
seen
obviously.
all 6 movies.
I have seen all 6 movies.
Were you a fan of did you ever play the MMO that is on PC and just hit 10-year anniversary?
I never played the PC one, no. But I played all the PlayStation games.
Oh, all those.
There was even a couple of PSP games as well that I played. Also, there's Shadow of Mordor that's just come out, which looks pretty good. But
Shadow of Mordor, I've been debating on buying this thing for the last 2 weeks, and I've been so busy that I haven't felt like spending it. I'm going to buy this game. I watch people play this all the time. It looks awesome, and Shadow of War looks even better. And I don't know if it's going to be, but apparently what your choices you make in Shadow of Mordor will then affect Shadow of War.
Oh,
it's
okay.
like Lord of the Rings version of Assassin's Creed from me watching it, if you kind of want to help. That helps you at all.
Yeah, that helps.
I'm not sure about the story because I didn't really pay attention, but I know the gameplay. I heard some other people say the mechanics they weren't a fan of, but then I've watched people play and stuff, and it looks fun. And I know it's cheap now because it's been out for 2 years.
Are you getting that on PC or Xbox?
Xbox. I basically do not have a PC yet available to play a lot of games. I can play some, but my video card. Basically, when I buy laptops, I buy them for spans of 5 years, as I'm going on almost 5-6 years with this laptop. And so I have them booted and everything else because installing new and upgrading PCs are hard. The problem is my video card always gets outdated. So while I can play with the processor, the RAM, the memory, pretty much you can think my video card sucks. And so
Yeah.
a lot of the new games just either not compatible now or just apparently just will not run. And so
Well, it's
sucks.
fine when I decide I want to get a PC because where I work in an electronics store, we actually sell all the gaming PC pieces.
Right.
You know, literally everything down to even the cases we do. So
The towers.
and I get stuff discount.
See, that's what I'm saying. Let's get on this. Let's make a PC together and we can all play. I watch
Let's do
people that, and I mean, I guess to me, since I'm a big Twitch person, which we are on now,
Yep.
everybody I watch and I want to interact with, and they love to play with people, and they're like, "Come play our games," and I'm like, "I like you, I'll play with you," but they're on PC, and I'm like, "Well, shit, I can't play with you." So yeah, I mean, that's kind of been my ordeal, and I love not Order of the Rings. We're talking about Order of the Rings, but Elder Scrolls, which to me was almost like a fantasy version of Lord of the Rings, without as much like. Obviously, it's totally two different things, but it brings me in the kind of the same. I don't want to say genre type, but like.
Yeah, it's got the same sort of feel to it.
Yeah, the same sort of feel of like exploring. You're traveling. There's like magic. Sorcery. You got the old school sword and shield, bows, but anyways. Like that, like I see people playing all the time on PC. I see all the mods you can get, the add-ons, and I'm like, I can get a buff timer. I can get a time. I can get something. I can get pretty much anything I want. And I'm like, this is awesome. And it's not even like trying to be like, because I know some people say that doesn't take any skill or whatever. I'm like, no, it's literally if I put my food on, I shouldn't have to run a separate timer on my phone so I know when my food runs out.
Yeah.
It wears me out. But yeah, no, I'm really wanting that, and I watch people and I listen to people with these like Steam downloads. Plus, I go to a lot of conventions. RTX, which we went to this past weekend. If you're now, this is July 10th, 2017. We went to that July 7th through 9th of 2017, RTX Austin. Yeah, they give away Steam codes for free games and betas all the time. That's where a lot of the creativity and the developers are. And stuff like people like you, like with video editing and audio editing and stuff like that, and it's all PC.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just using this weekend. I can't use them because I don't have a damn PC.
Yeah, I'm just using a pretty crappy laptop in a minute too.
Yeah, so am I.
I mean, I'll probably be getting a Mac at some point because like some of the best audio editing software you can get, stuff like Pro Tools and stuff like that. It's
just get you a nice get you a nice gaming PC, and we'll worry about the software or the editing stuff later. Worry about playing some games.
No, you see, I'm getting this Mac stupidly cheap. It's meant to cost about $2,000, but I'm getting it 500 quid because one of my aunties bought it, not knowing what it was.
Which
so I'm going to take a cheap Mac.
Easily bring up that Kate loved for me to talk about, but I will not. But when she watches this, I just want you to know and think about what I'm going to say about people giving away things. Anyways.
Yeah, I believe I was in that conversation too one time.
Yes, but anyways, moving on from there. I guess another thing that would be really cool is like Steam giveaways, like I told you about. I see people just go and buy game after game after game. You take $50, the price of an Xbox game, and you can buy like 15 games on computer, and even some of them are crap. I mean, shit, one of them's got to be good.
Yeah, you might get an hour out one of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, there's quite a few of them that are little small little games that are pretty cool. I think like the Xbox arcade games, which they used to do for the longest time, that's pretty much what seems like Steam has quite a bit of. And there's just a lot of other games that are just amazing. Like Ark was a PC that ended up being ported over. Yeah. So, yeah. But anyway,
you get to catch the few that will take off eventually.
Yes.
Catch them early.
Yeah. So, but anyways, I know I keep saying anyways, anyway. But so you play in a cover band for the Foo Fighters, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So then, what's your favorite artist?
Favorite artist?
You have to say Foo
question.
Fighters, right?
No, I'm not going to go with Foo Fighters because that's all I've listened to for the last 2 months. Let me have a think. That's a good question, actually. It's a question I always struggle with because, especially where I have a degree in music as well, they're like, you need to love everything.
You don't have to love everything.
I never did love everything. I'm not going to lie.
That's fine.
I had to play in a reggae band. I didn't enjoy that. Favorite artist? Probably there's a band from Austin, Texas called Nothing More.
Nothing More. That's cool. I thought you were going to say Spoon. If you just said Spoon, we would have disconnected this right now.
No, they're from Austin, Texas, and they're called Nothing More. They're actually got a new album coming out pretty soon, so I'm pretty excited for that.
Sweet. That is awesome.
I listen to all kinds of bands, so.
Well, if you listen to all kinds, well, name like 2 or 3 of your favorites then.
All right, okay, so Nothing More, obviously. There's a local band, or kind of local to me. I go all their South Coast gigs, called Griever. Definitely playing all their stuff pretty frequently. Really nice guys too. While She Sleeps, Bullet for My Valentine, Papa Roach, stuff like that.
Do you have anybody that's been relevant in the past, 5 years?
Anyone's been relevant? Yeah, Nothing More. They got a new album coming out. What the hell, man? Hey, I'll have you know, Papa Roach got a new album coming out. In fact, next to me, I got a signed poster I just got in the mail from them.
There you go.
I'll have you know.
Have you know. So I guess big question is, when's the next trip to the US of A?
Next trip to US of A will be when I have enough money to be able to do a trip to the US of A.
That seems like the answer to all questions to everything these days, with everything.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I normally try and make it over at least once a year back to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my family are out there. In fact, it's my dad's birthday today, so happy birthday, Dad.
Better tell him to watch this then.
Yeah, I'm going to have to send him a link and be like, yeah, just skip to 30 minutes or something. I bring you up. It's cool.
It's 38 minutes, but yes.
So, okay, I was close. But yeah, I've got a couple more things I need to save up for. A few things that I need that are relevant to my working life.
A gaming PC.
And then, do you want me to come over this year or not?
Depends. Depends on whether there's a gaming PC or not involved there. So yeah. That's
yeah,
fun.
hopefully either later this year or early next year.
That's not too bad then.
Yeah.
Not too bad at all. I guess. Let's see. Favorite episode of the podcast and why, and least favorite episode of the podcast and why.
Oh man, let's think. I'd probably say, I'll go with my favorite episode being the Lara Croft episode, because that's probably been the one that I knew the most about in terms of the topic.
Okay.
But also, it was the biggest learning curve for me too, because I'd never edited a podcast before. I didn't really know what to expect. All I knew is I had the tools to be able to come up with something good.
Okay.
So it was the biggest learning curve for me. It kind of got me off on the right foot for the rest of the editing, and I also knew quite a bit about it. So.
All right, fair enough. What is the one podcast topic that you either know absolutely enough about, or just, I guess, least favorite episode? Not very. I guess I don't want to say it's a bad episode, but I guess something that you know the least amount. For everybody out there, I want them to actually listen to our episodes. Don't need you going and bashing all our stuff.
In terms of what I knew the least about, I'd probably say the Miyazaki episode.
Yes, I have to agree. I
literally knew nothing. I was editing that. When I was editing that, I almost felt like I should have been taking notes.
Yes.
I was like, wait, so hang on, he used to work with who? What?
Yeah. So for everybody that haven't checked that out, you should check that out. Eventually there will be a wormhole on that episode. I'm just trying to get help to do that, because unfortunately I'm about as clueless as our editor. I just don't know that much about it, unfortunately. Yeah. But no, you should probably check that episode out, because apparently if you're like us, you can learn all about it. And
I know I certainly did.
Yes. So, we're going to go ahead and we'll edit this out. So I'm probably going to go ahead and wrap this up, so that way it's like a part 1. So that way we don't have a huge thing. And then if you'd like, we can stay on here and we'll just talk podcast episodes and stuff like that for another part.
That's cool, me.
All right, I just want to let you know before you're like, wait, but what? But yeah. So we'll edit. So 40. I'm gonna put this bookmark. Hold on, 41. That way I can. So I'm gonna do an exit. So that way I can cut it. We'll stop. You can get a drink of water, and then we'll go right back in. I'll redo the intro and blah blah. Got it?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I think I might get that drink of water.
Yeah. So let me finish this up real fast. All right. So anyways, so that's about it for I guess this. This is our the other side of the wormhole, the lost thoughts, and this time is with Meet the Editor, Asa, Big Mountain. We did pick a mountain on purpose because he's a big mountain. So, any last thoughts? We want people to know about you before we call this a wrap?
What know about me?
Give them one good fun fact.
A fun fact. Okay. I can crack my neck for fun.
I don't know why that's fun, but okay.
Hang on, I'll see if I can put my mic to my neck.
That's just probably not
I don't
healthy.
know if you can hear that or not.
That was probably not healthy at all. When I taught classes, I used to always tell people you had to tell your name and one random fun fact about themselves. Some of the most hilarious stuff I've ever heard about people. I think one person said they liked... Well, I think one person said they liked Olive Garden a lot, and then another person stood up and said, I like Olive Garden too. Do you want to go to Olive Garden with me? It was very crazy, but it was funny.
I kind of hope they're still together.
Yeah. And then another person stood up and said, I do not like Olive Garden. I do remember that one. But no, I got a lot of random things. Because, I mean, you got your general basic, but then I learned that people, like, play instruments, kind of like you in a band. I learned that people, like, ice skate. Some people did improv comedy. Like I said, they like cheesy bread. They like Olive Garden. They don't like Olive Garden. I mean, it was a lot of, like, random things that you just find. So if you ever do something like that or just get into them, ask somebody about one random fact about them.
I remember when I used to teach bass, not for very long, just while I was at uni. It was part of the courses you had to teach as well. So I'd teach bass, and I'd say to my students, all right, well, you know, what's your favorite songs and stuff? You know, what do you want to learn? You know, we can go through that, and you know, they'd come out with stuff like, oh, I really want to play, you know, something by Muse and stuff like that. They're like, you know, I love that guy. I'm like, all right, well, what's, you know, just so I can see what kind of thing you like and what you don't like. What's your least favorite song? And they'll be like, oh, not anything but Justin Bieber or something like that. And next lesson, like that whole lesson for an hour would just be playing Justin Bieber, and they're like, I hate you so much. I'm like, hey, I'm not here to be liked.
That's just wrong.
But you know, it just made it good fun. You know, like, because ultimately they then got some sort of appreciation for the music once they figured out that they could do it.
Okay, well, that's good. That's all about is learning. So,
it's when word got around and I get a new student and they cottoned on. They were like, yeah, tell him that your favorite song is actually your least favorite song, and your least favorite song is your favorite song. And then their first album, they're like, yeah, I want to play some Pantera. I'm like, oh, okay, here we go.
All right, so let's give all the listeners, I guess, out there, where can we find you out on the interwebs?
I have a Twitter.
Do you use your Twitter?
Big M. I am getting there with it. The more Matt badgers me about using my Twitter, the more I use it. I got
my Twitter in January. I've really become a big fan of Twitter.
I still struggle with it a little bit
these days. Twitter,
but
it's so much fun. You never know what you're gonna find.
Yeah, pretty much.
Check it out.
But yeah, you can find me on Twitter at AsaBigM, ASABIGM. And obviously you can message me on the But Why Though Facebook page, and any messages aimed at me will get to me.
Obviously. Sounds good. Alright, so thanks for everybody coming to meet with our editor, Asa, and get to learn a little bit about him. Feel free to hit us up. If you want to have any questions for him, you can hit us up on any of our social medias, on our Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook at ButWhyThoughPC. And also remember to check out all our episodes and a new episode every Wednesday, which are edited by Asa Big Mountain, on ButWhyThoughPodcast.com, along with any of your highly rated good podcast apps, which I should name them just to annoy Kate, but I will not. Alright, well, have a good one, everybody, and we'll see you guys next time.
Have a good night.